My sisters are incredible. Truly incredible human beings. They really are. I love you guys. My brother's questionable, but I love my sisters.
I love you just as much, too. I love you.
Steve's such a good guy. I could not ask for a better older brother. He's fabulous. I had a couple of thoughts. First of which is I'm so grateful, and our family's so grateful for all of you and the love and support that we've felt directly through phone calls and messages. And indirectly, we know that so many of you have been praying for us. And as I look around, this is exactly who our Father would want to be here as his family. He put his family second, actually. His family was second in his life. And that is the reason why he was so happy. Is because his first priority was his God in heaven. And that really is the truth. He was such a fun-loving man. There's so many stories and anecdotes that we could share, and that each of you could share about him. He's hilarious. And he earned the name Crazy Wayne for a reason. He's so fun-loving, and that was really only part of him. And if you really knew him on the inside, he was a serious man. And he took serious things very seriously. And his family knew that. He shared that with us. And I think his siblings knew that. I'm pretty sure his nieces and nephews knew that. But I don't know that he really shared with everyone what he would share with us. And so I'm going to attempt to do that, a small piece of it, specifically talking to his family. John 10, in the book of John, chapter 10, Jesus declares, I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. The Lord's sheep hear the Lord's voice and follow him. What I'd like to talk about is our patriarch, George Osmond. Not my grandfather, George Osmond, who was a fabulous man too, but his grandfather, who was born in the 1800s. So George Osmond lived in England, and when he was 14, he received the great privilege to be an apprentice to a shipbuilder in London. And he went to the shipbuilder yards and was working there. It was a fabulous career. He would have, had an amazing life. And he knew that. And while he was there in the shipyards, he heard about some American missionaries that were causing controversy over there in England. And amongst the mixed messages he had heard, he decided to go hear them directly and see what they had to say. And while he was there, what he heard was that the great latter-day work that prophesied in the scriptures to bring Jesus' church back, the great and marvelous work had come forth and was here. And that there was again a prophet on the earth, a prophet of God, Joseph Smith. And there was a book of scripture that an angel of the Lord gave this prophet to translate into English for us to read, for him to study. He was intrigued, and above all the noise and all the negativity at the day, what he heard was the voice of the Lord. He heard the voice of the Lord. Enough, so much so, that he decided to go back to the next meeting and listen again in the next meeting until he received his own copy of the Book of Mormon, read it himself, and studied it. And over time, and through his obedience and being true and faithful to the light inside of him that he possessed, he came to possess a deep, burning, undeniable witness that this great Latter-day work was true, that God was in it. So he had heard the Lord's voice. Now, he decided that he wanted to follow the Lord as well. And in order to do so, he forsook everything. He put his whole soul, his life, everything that he possessed on the altar of sacrifice and followed the voice of the Lord. He left his family, his friends, his livelihood. They don't make ships in Utah. He lost his inheritance, which I believe that he had, and shipped it off because he heard the Lord's voice and he wanted to follow it. That's our heritage. That's the Osmond family heritage. My father possessed something special that I know his siblings possess. And they're special people. And that same deep, burning witness that this great Latter-day work is real and true, he possessed it. And the greatest gift that he gave me was when I wasn't too sure about it myself. And there are a lot of questions and concerns that people can have. And when I wasn't quite sure about things, I would talk to him about it. And he'd ask questions, and we'd go in length about the various aspects. And the greatest, the life-changing moment for me was when, after listening to me, he stood up and gave me a hug and said, "Greg, you're talking to the wrong person about this." We all know that if you want to follow the Lord and you want to know it's true, there's only one way to know. And it's if God tells you, confirms it to you individually.
Wayne Osmond, beloved husband and father, passed away peacefully on January 1st, 2025, in Salt Lake City, Utah, following a stroke. He was surrounded by his loving wife and 5 children. His legacy of faith, music, love, and laughter have influenced the lives of many people around the world. He would want everyone to know that the gospel of Jesus Christ is true, that families are forever, and that banana splits are the best dessert. We love him and will miss him dearly. Melvin Wayne Osmond was born on August 28, 1951, in Ogden, Utah, to George and Olive Osmond. Wayne was the 4th of 9 children and was raised in a family deeply rooted in faith, music, creativity, and love. His musical journey began alongside his brothers as part of a barbershop quartet. The Osmond brothers gained national attention in the 1960s after performing at Disneyland, leading to a regular spot on The Andy Williams Show. In the 1970s, the Osmonds became a global sensation with chart-topping hits such as One Bad Apple, Yo-Yo, Down by the Lazy River, and Crazy Horses. Wayne's multifaceted talents shone brightly within the group. In addition to being the baritone vocalist, he was also an accomplished guitarist and played many other musical instruments. His creative contributions to the band were vital, as he often co-wrote songs and helped shape the group's distinctive sound that bridged pop, rock, and country genres. Together, the family sold over 77 million records worldwide. In addition to his contributions to music, Wayne was also an experienced pilot. He was a commercial pilot for several years and also taught flight lessons. He especially enjoyed flying Learjets and once flew with the U.S. Navy Blue Angels. Wayne's personal life was equally inspiring. He married Kathleen White in 1974, and the couple shared a beautiful partnership. They celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary on December 13, 2024. Together, they raised 5 children, creating a home filled with faith, laughter, and music. His family was central to his life, and he took immense pride in his roles as a husband, father, and grandfather. He was a high priest in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and took every opportunity to share his testimony. Wayne faced many personal health challenges. In 1995, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor, which he courageously fought and overcame. A stroke in 2012 and another battle with cancer further tested his resilience, but Wayne approached each challenge with unshakable optimism. Unfortunately, hearing loss eventually led to his retirement from music, though he remained a cherished figure in the entertainment world. Wayne is survived by his wife, Kathleen, their 5 children, Amy, Jeff Cook, Steve Annalee Osmond, Greg Kaylin Osmond, Sarah Adam Hilton, and Michelle Joe Erickson, 20 grandchildren, and 8 siblings. He is preceded in death by his parents, George and Olive Osmond, father-in-law William White, 2 nephews, and 2 nieces. His legacy lives on through his music, unwavering faith, and love. A family memorial service took place in the Salt Lake City area to celebrate his extraordinary life. In lieu of flowers, donations were made in his memory to LDS Charities or to the church's general